There we are. Hey guys, it's Blerd Talk, the return. We are returning for E3. I promise we're
Yes,
gonna get more.
yes.
I promise we're gonna get more consistent now that all of our schedules are starting to clear up now that it's summer. So yes, and I welcome Josh.
Hey,
Josh is
hey.
Josh is back. Now the last time we had a podcast, Josh was not a college graduate. Now he is officially a college graduate.
Yes, I
Congratulations,
have.
my man.
Thank you very much.
Shout, shouts out to him. Shouts out to all the successes. Another educated black man in the world. Shouts out to that. So go ahead and introduce yourself. I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm Josh Brunson, frequent guest on this podcast. I draw a whole lot of pictures. Um, just graduated college, and I'm glad to talk some nerd stuff with you guys today.
unofficially sponsored by Sunkiss Orange Soda
Oh,
and
yes.
Orville Redenbacher as always. And to those of you who don't know who I am Kylan, your host. Uh, co co-creator with all these fine brothers that come on here, but co-creator, sports reporter slash dabbler of all things nerds. So I'm multifaceted individual. And yeah, that's me. Hopefully we will have Kaylin or our those of you who watched the show previously, you would know him as the last time we had this podcast. He played the role of Darth Vader
Yes, he did.
or Darth Lightning Vader, whatever. But yes. So hopefully he will be back. But if not, the two Musketeers will hold it down.
Yes, we will.
So as I said, this is our E3 edition. So Josh, what were your thoughts on? I guess we'll tackle it in order.
Yeah.
We'll skip EA because I know you're not a sport. Well,
Yeah.
you watched it though, right?
I did watch it. Yeah, EA was very dull, except for Star Wars, and then even then, they didn't do a very good job presenting that to make it look more exciting than it was. Because they had a good start with the Star Wars bit. They had the lady who was playing the character in the single player campaign. She came out to like talk about the game. She was really excited about it, and that was the highlight of that conference for me. Obviously, like the new Battlefront game looks like it's going to be an actual good game this time. There's going to be single player campaign, customizable classes for battle.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Say it with that sweet story. Say it again.
yeah. You can actually earn the heroes now instead of it being a random pop-up that you can never get. And they got all of the eras in this one, and it looks like they're taking a lot of cues from the OG Battlefront games and all of the hate mail they've gotten for the past game, and are actually going to make a good game this time. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. But other than that, EA's conference was quite boring.
Shouts out to John Boyega.
Oh yeah,
Shouts out to him again for being a playable character and making it to the realm of one of about 3 or 4 black characters to make it into the game. Shouts
oh
out to
yeah.
you.
Also, on that note, free DLC, which is going to be huge. And this is EA we're talking about, so they love that, making that extra cash, which is surprising to see them do that. So hopefully that stays throughout the course of the game's lifetime.
Well, you know what happened with that? They made enough money off the first Battlefront to be like, well, it's free now.
Yeah, probably all the $60 season pass got to pay for like a full price game for DLC pass. Crazy.
Right. But as far as, so we'll just go in order. As far as EA, to me, as I said, sports reporter and sports gamer here. No surprise, right? But for me, Madden was exciting. I'm not really a FIFA person. I know a sports guy that doesn't like soccer. I'm so American. FIFA was mad to me. I'll tell you a game that was surprising to me in EA's conference, and the game doesn't get enough credit. Need for Speed. You know, when I was watching it, I don't know if you know this, Josh. It had some burnout elements. If you saw,
it did. Yeah.
I was very excited.
And it was actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying they're taking some cues from the Fast and Furious franchise and making it about characters and heists and stuff now instead of just racing. Which, I mean, we'll see how that turns out for that game. It looks interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it never hurts to have. And it never helps to have somebody like me who hasn't played the EA racing game since Burnout say, "Hey, that looks like Burnout with the crashes."
The crashes were pretty detailed. That was cool.
I was looking at that and I was all like when he sideswiped the guy, I was all like, "Yo, is that Burnout? Yo, is that Burnout?" Because they didn't, initially they didn't. They made you think that they were actually bringing back Burnout. I was all like, "My God, EA's bringing back Burnout." But then it was a Need for Speed poster, and I got slightly less excited. But
yeah,
I'll give them credit. I will give EA credit on this front. They are introducing story, and to that end, I know Josh is not interested in this game, but Madden, I know they didn't do much with Madden, but they showed the story mode. And to all of you Madden players, this is why you should be thankful for 2K, because 2K, 2K is the king of NBA, obviously, and Madden is the king of football, right? But 2K has a story mode, and we haven't had a story mode in a Madden game in a while, right? It's been like 12 years. And now we actually have a full detailed story mode with an Oscar winner in it. Mahershala Ali is in this game. So y'all need to be real excited. Y'all need to thank God for 2K, because if it wasn't for 2K getting Spike Lee and all these other people to direct their story mode, EA would not have tried this. EA was probably quite satisfied with being like, we'll just make our money off E-League. And I do not hate EA. I'm one of those people that buy Madden all the time. I will not lie. I am a sucker for Madden. I am a sucker for Madden. I won't lie. I am a sucker for Madden. But in this case, that story mode, it's just a trailer. I'm not, but it looks good. It even has Dan Marino in it. So that was two of the highlights. Obviously, Star Wars was the highlight. I was trying to figure out what that girl was, and by was I mean like what was she mixed with? What is she? I know. I know some people that are not black. You're probably cringing right now. But
what's that ethics? What's the ethnic makeup?
I was sitting there like, all right, she looks black with some other stuff, with some other stuff in there, but we'll never. I might Google this after the show, but that was very impressive, as Josh pointed out, and the fact that we got free DLC. Now, what I was mad at EA for is, this is what happens when sometimes EA does some things that are stupid, and in this case, they did a couple of things that were stupid, where they slaved out too much of their conference to Xbox. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, y'all know, the frequent listeners of this podcast know that, like, I personally am not a fan of Xbox. It has nothing to do with the console. It's more to do with the game offerings.
Yeah.
But I would say I have to call EA out on this. This is what personally docked their conference from a 6.5 to me to about a 6. Is because the two games I was really interested in, well, 3, because they showed Star Wars, Madden, obviously, that was at the Xbox conference, and Anthem. I'm telling you right now, y'all know how big of a BioWare fan I am. I liked Mass Effect Andromeda. I know I'm in the minority when it comes to that, but I like Mass Effect Andromeda, right? And now this is the original Mass Effect team coming out. Josh and I remarked about this on Sunday when we saw each other. Yes, I know. A podcast where people are actually friends on outside of the podcast. I know. Such a boy. But we remarked that, Anthem looked good, but we didn't see it until Microsoft's conference. And it's Destiny-like. Let's be real.
Yeah, very much.
It's that mix of Mass Effect, Destiny, and The Division. It's probably everything, specifically The Division, should have been, right? With some story. This is a BioWare game. And they're going to get money. And hopefully with that money, they can make Mass Effect Andromeda 2 and make that better than Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, I'm not blind. I will admit that Mass Effect Andromeda had some faults, but it was not a bad game. This is not about Mass Effect Andromeda. EA, please give me some DLC. but but yes. So Anthem. I guess since we're on Anthem and Madden, we might as well go to Microsoft.
Mhm.
So since Josh started, I'll start on Microsoft. I liked Microsoft's conference. They took some cues from Sony, where they, got the talking out early, rolled out Scorpio early, or I'm sorry, Xbox X,
Yes.
which is the fact that how unoriginal. I'm sorry, y'all. I just gotta say it. How unoriginal is that? That's like the term of the system, Xbox, and you just called it XBOX. Like how unoriginal. You should just go with with Xbox Scorpio, SBOS. At least we could have said Xbox, and that would have been better. Like
Yeah.
it might have sounded like somebody's gamer tag, but at least that would have been better than Xbox. Like that's literally what you spell.
Yeah, Xbox. I also love the trend of having a really cool and mysterious project name for your new console, and then giving it a super dumb actual name when they actually reveal the console. Because the Scorpio was a cool name. Same thing with Sony. Like I know this isn't about Sony right now, but with the PS4 Pro was called the Neo for a while. We didn't know what it was. Then like it's the PS4 Pro. And this one, it's like it was a Scorpio, but now it's the Xbox One X. It's like it's not a cool name. It really isn't a cool name.
Yeah, it's really not. And I mean, I know with Neo, it probably has something to do with like them not being willing to pay the Matrix people, because I'm sure they got that name copyrighted. That probably had something to do with that. But well, I know we're not on Sony, but yeah, Josh is definitely right. That is a very horrifying trend of Neo, Scorpio, X and Pro.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I'll start. We'll reverse this since Josh started with EA. So to me, like I said, Microsoft took a cue from Sony the last 2 years, where Sony just completely took out talking from their previous conferences. Xbox Scorpio, they had to roll it out. They said we listened to the fans, and I will give it to them. They had a couple hits. Personally, I'm not a fan of backwards compatibility just because I got a new system to play new games, not to play old games. But that's just me. But I know a lot of people. I know a lot of my Xbox friends were very happy because they can now play OG Xbox games on the Xbox One along with the original Xbox 360, which was good points from Microsoft. They introduced, but some of those extreme Xbox took L's because they were all like, Microsoft is gonna have true 4K. Sorry, let me get in character. I know some of y'all don't sound like that, but Microsoft is going to get true 4K, and then it comes out, and then Phil Spencer's all like, "No, we're using checkerboarding, the same thing Sony's using," and everybody's all like, "No!" And the price, I know a lot of people thought with that kind of technology, it was going to be $400. But listen here, Xbox fans, you should take your win, because I swore it was going to be $700 with the technology they were talking about that was I thought it was going to be $700, but it turned out it was only $500. And those you can play that about $500. You gonna spend that on the new iPhone and the Samsung S8 when that come out. So you got $500 laying around somewhere.
That's how much the Xbox One was originally, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got $500. You Xbox fans should be used to paying $500. We had to pay $600 last gen, so it is what it is. But $500, that's. I'll be honest. Microsoft's conference was about a 7 to me. It was the best Microsoft conference I've seen, but for me, it was lacking in the big hitters. I know. I expected at least a tease of Halo. What are we on 6 now?
Oh yeah,
Halo
6. Yeah, 6.
I expected some Gears DLC. I mean, Microsoft's conference really showed the weakness that Microsoft has had for a while. It especially shows up in this gen because, they don't really have the third-party partnerships that they're used to having because that's all been snapped up by Sony. but they really don't have a strong first party lineup. And I really do think that, and I really do hope, this is not me wishing death on Microsoft, but I really do hope that you guys go out and support the Scorpio, because competition is good. And I really do think with the way they're talking and how much technology they put into the Xbox X or Scorpio, that this might actually be Microsoft's last console. Now, like I said, caveat, I don't want them to die, but just with the technology and the way they're talking and how they're bringing in PC gaming, this looks like the last Xbox. I really do think this might be the last Xbox before they just start treating it like it's a cell phone and just being like, here's the Xbox X2. It's the same console, but we added some more flops. So, I'm gonna let since we're on it, Anthem looked so good. That should have started the conference. Anthem looked amazing. Sea of Thieves looked good too. That was like the second best game. But Xbox Anthem, my goodness, that game. That was probably the best game Microsoft showed, and that was third party. That's just my opinion. But you can definitely send a hate mail my way. I could always use more followers and more attention at Kyler W. Watson. but yeah, so Anthem to me was the best game. Microsoft to me gets a 7 out of 10, the score that EA would have had they not slaved over two of their best games to Xbox to show off Scorpio. But I submit the floor to Josh.
Yeah, so I had similar feelings to Kylan. It was a decent show. They had to bring out the car and talk about the new Forza and talk about the Xbox. But after that, they just went straight into the games. That was pretty cool just to see just straight games for like nearly an hour. That was nice. But it's funny though, because they announced like they got like 20 exclusive games we're going to show you, and it's like they're not really exclusive. They're going to be on PC, which again, talking about what Kylan's talking about, like this might be the last Xbox. Like they might just be shifting over to PC completely, because the way with how they're like each exclusive game, quote unquote, was like an Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive. So it was like it really isn't exclusive if you have a PC. So that's a hint that where their future might lie with Microsoft's game distribution and console future. But overall, it was a decent show. Anthem looked cool. Sea of Thieves did look cool. I don't remember half the games they showed. There were some cool looking indie ones in there. I think was it the last night with that really cool like 2.5D pixel art style. That was cool. And I think they were the ones who showed the Dragon Ball fighting game, which I am not really a fan of Dragon Ball. I've never really watched it, but that game, I would buy that game. That game looks gorgeous, and it looks like a super fun time to play. And yeah, so overall, it's a good show. Not the best, not the worst.
Right.
It's a show.
Which I will enjoy, to Josh's point, and to both of our larger point, which we will both enjoy most of those games from that conference on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
which again is the large problem with what Microsoft showed. Now, obviously, with shows like E3, with any of these conferences, you're going to get a huge third party. It's not like Sony was excluded in this either. Like they all do third party because. For real, let's be honest, Josh and I are part of the minority when it comes to hardcore gamers. Like, we are not the majority. The majority is the casuals. So, obviously, it's going to be like that Call of Duty, that Anthem, that Assassin's Creed, which, by the way, even though we didn't talk about it, Assassin's Creed looks good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed looked good. Shadow of War is looking good.
Yeah, that looked really fun. Like with the characters and stuff look really fun, and the gameplay looks really good too. If it's keeping from the first game.
Right. So Microsoft has done a good job of getting some games to come out to show their prowess, but at the same time, it's just like some of these games, like Assassin's Creed, Destiny 2, and all that, is going to run 4K 30. Now, some people were expecting 4K 60, and we knew that wasn't going to happen because you want to talk about 4K 60. Sony has 60 million people on PS4, and 4K 60 on Xbox was never going to happen with 60 million people on the other console. No. 60 million and counting, I should add. So, the PlayStation 4 is so I know it's not about PlayStation, but to those of you, because I've seen it on Twitter, there's been this thing that a lot of you think that Sony somehow is paying all these developers off to make the game 4K 30 when the Scorpio can run it at 4K 60. Just let me let y'all in on a little secret. It's all up to developers. It has nothing to do with Sony.
Yeah. It's funny because like the whole push for 4K, and it's like, I mean, I know 4K tech is getting a little cheaper now, but still, it can be pretty pricey to get a 4K television, and with these new 4K enabled consoles, like they're still gonna, like, they're saying that they'll still work with your regular HD TV and everything. It's like, then why do I have to upgrade? I don't need it. But hey, they're trying to get all the graphics, all the pixels, every single pixel, all of them,
all the flops, man.
Every single flop.
So now we're on the show that we all came here for, Sony. Mm-hmm. Josh, my friend, go ahead and lead it off, man.
Now, Sony's show this year, I gotta say, wasn't their best, but it was still really good overall. They just, like, they opened with Uncharted spinoff, Days Gone, and the Horizon expansion, which all solid offerings. And then they just brought, like, Sean Levy out. He talked for like a minute, and then went straight into games for the rest of the conference, which was really just nice to just see that all happen. Got some more God of War footage, which is cool, of a kind of a Last of Us clone, which is weird seeing God of War as that kind of game. Still got to get used to that, but yeah, overall it was a good show. Sad there was no mention of trying to show any love for the Vita, because come on, guys, the Vita still exists. Why don't you put out? It's funny because the only Vita related news I saw was the Undertale port, because Undertale's getting a console port for Sony consoles. It's getting a Japanese localization and everything. It's coming to PS4 and Vita. That's the only Vita news that I've seen out of all of E3 so far, which is kind of sad, because I had my Vita, I love my Vita, and I want there to be more really good games on it. But, I mean, overall, Sony had a good show. They showed some cool stuff. They had a cool, like, opening thing with the Indian music, and it was good.
To Josh's point, Josh now knows that with the PS4, every big game that comes to the PS4 is a Vita game via remote play.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
So unofficially, Vita gets love every time there's a new PlayStation 4 game, whether it be multi-plat or exclusive. So shouts out to Vita Island. You'll always get love as long as the PS4 is selling.
That is true. We do have that.
And otherwise, for those of you like Josh, you might be looking for Vita news. You may have to wait until December, because it did come out, and I want to put this out there. I probably should have said this before Josh went. Forgot. Shuhei Yoshida came out and said that they had a lot to show for this E3, but they held actually a lot of things back.
For PSX.
Yes, and what I think he's hinting at is that Sucker Punch game that we haven't seen in 3 years.
Ooh.
So you have to remember that Sucker Punch hasn't put out a game since Infamous First
Yeah, that's
Light.
true. It's been a while. Oh, also, like Spider-Man, my son,
Woo!
they showed off that game footage, and aside from the like those quick time event scenes happening, it's like, I mean, I'll deal with it. But other than that, like, the game looks tight. Like, if like we only got to see a small slice of it, but if we can just like fly around or swing around the city with absolute freedom like in Spider-Man 2, I'm already sold. And the gameplay is looking like some like an Arkham style, but with the spider gadgets. I love me the Arkham games, and I love that style of combat and those stealth takedown sequences, and it's looking tight. And they're going for some deep cuts with the villains too, Mr. Negative. Like, I didn't expect them to go with a relatively low tier villain like that for at least some of the story. So that's gonna be cool.
You know, when I tell you, I was watching. So I went to E3 Experience for the PlayStation. When I tell you, we marked out the whole theater, marked out for that game. We marked out. I was probably the loudest person there. Obviously, Abby, you know. But the Spider-Man game is awesome. I was really going to end my point with this, but I guess I'll start with it. That Spider-Man game looked awesome. Like, when I tell you this Sony Disney partnership is paying off, and I hope Sony is not stupid enough to end it. I know you want to do your own thing with Venom, fine, but keep Spider-Man in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Because of that deal, I know that deal was just for Spider-Man, but I definitely think that deal, like, because of that deal, you now have exclusive rights to Star Wars. You get exclusive PlayStation games of Spider-Man. Like, Spider freaking Man, and when in that Avengers game, I really hope it's a PS4.
Ooh, yeah.
I doubt it will be because it's made by Square Enix.
Yeah, probably multi-platform.
But my goodness, y'all, that game looked amazing, and I was watching it at a movie theater in 4K, and then I haven't watched the trailer again, but I rewatched it, I think, on my tablet, I want to say. And I saw some very good hints. Like, first off, let's be real. This is the first real Spider-Man game where we had two villains in one place. We had the freaking Kingpin in all his 2017 combo of the 90s version in the same trailer. We have we had some teasers of the storyline because one of the posters, I don't know if y'all were paying attention when y'all were watching the trailer, but one of the trailers that they hit with the helicopter where they had like the crane and everything was a re-elect Osborn from there.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
So might be a Hobgoblin tease or an Iron Patriot tease. I'm not sure which one. We got freaking Miles Morales.
My boy, my other son.
They confirmed that Peter Parker is 23. Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
23 in this game. So maybe I don't know which universe this is, but just by his age, maybe this is billionaire Peter Parker. I doubt it, but maybe, or maybe it's him working his way up. Like they did say. Now this information is coming because they had a thing, and Sony and PlayStation streamed it, where the Insomniac people said this game has nothing to do with the movie, obviously, because in this movie Peter Parker is 9 years. In the movie he's 14, in the game he's 23. So obviously there's no direct connection. But I'm kind of I want to take Josh's guess after I'm finished talking about Sony overall, what universe this in, because to me it sounds like billionaire Peter Parker or on his way to being a billionaire Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And maybe the sequel will tackle that. But it does seem like the renew your vows, one more day type universe maybe to me, because they said he was 23. And in the comics, when he's 23, that's when he's a billionaire, like on the level of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the before that Spider-Man. So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. It's Spider-Man. And to Josh's point, they said this open world. It does have that Arkham feel. My goodness, I know that's something that a lot of people are tired of hearing this generation. Open world, that's the new buzzword. So
Yeah, it really is. But
open
for
world,
Spider-Man, I'm down.
man, look for any superhero game. Like I'm hoping that the Spider-Man game does well because I want another Spider-Man. I hope this Marvel game does well because I do want an Ultimate. I don't know if I ever talked about this podcast how much I love Ultimate Alliance.
Mm.
In my life. So I need these two games to do well. so I need Ultimate Alliance in my life. But on to other things. As he said, Sony is killing the game. Like I was trying to figure out why that pre-show was so long. And then when they showed like the people like reenacting the scene with the zombies, the pyrotechnics,
Oh yeah.
this was like Sony. Now we're all Christians here, so there will definitely be no cursing. But this was Sony giving zero freaks. Like they were just like, you know what? Microsoft has Scorpio. Well, we're gonna just blow the budget. We have more money now because we didn't get an orchestra. We're just gonna blow the budget on pyrotechnics.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that conference seemed like it was produced by Sony Pictures and Michael Bay. like
Yeah.
they were doing everything. Like they were just like explosions, zombies, everything. Like it was good. And speaking of zombies, Days Gone.
That's
Sony
looking
Pictures,
it's looking
that
good.
that is looking like if it wasn't for Spider Man and Horizon Zero Dawn making an appearance, because clap hands up to Gorilla because I totally didn't think that they would drop a DLC this soon or announce it at E3. I swore it was going to be a PSX and coming out in 2018. But shouts out to Gorilla for being the hardest working developers in the industry right now, having your own engine, making a Kojima game,
Oh
helping
yeah.
Supermassive with two new horror games, which we will talk about those two new horror games.
Mhm.
And shouts out to Gorilla for that. That Decima engine is putting in a lot of work. Shouts out to Gorilla for that. But my goodness, Days Gone. For a small developer in a part of Oregon I've never heard of because I've never been to Oregon in my life. But shouts out to Sony Bend for that work they're putting in with Days Gone. And
Oh yeah.
Josh mentioned Last of Us. I don't think there's a game that took more of a cue from Last of Us than Days Gone. It's like
That's true.
it's like Sony Ben was all like, all right, we'll take some Last of Us, mix it up with some Siphon Filter, and then we have Days Gone. Like I have never thought. I don't really like zombie things, but I have never thought. You know what? How about we tell a story about a zombie apocalypse from a biker's perspective? And I was all like, yo, that's such a simple idea. How come no one has ever thought about that?
Yeah.
And Lord knows. Like that game looks so good. I hope it does well because I want sequels to that. I want all these companies to do well. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
that looked good. Opening up with Nadine and Chloe, basically Uncharted 3. Tried out Uncharted 3 with female characters, maybe. Just saying, the whole female thing with the way. Spoiler alert: if you haven't played Uncharted 4 with the female, if you haven't noticed, the female empowerment in the last Uncharted's. But shouts out to that. Shouts out to all the femme fatales out there. But that looked good. God of War. What can we say, man? God of War. I know it's always had a story, but with less of a focus on gore and more narrative, looks good. Looks good. Like Josh.
Although I am gonna miss. I am gonna miss that crazy, rollicking, no holds barred, barbaric action. But I'm gonna give it a chance and see where it goes with this more mature approach for more mellow Kratos.
Yeah. Well, a little bit more mellow.
Well, just a tid, just a smash.
Yeah. So like we have all that, and I can't. Sony did a good job, as Josh said. It wasn't. Well, we should point this out, right? Sony set like the last two E3s. Sony's been like ungodly with the way
Just
they like
hitting it out the park.
the last 2 years. So this was still a good E3. It wasn't the best E3. It wasn't like up there with the last two, but this was a solid 8.5. I give him an 85. Solid 8.5. And I was looking at the thing. And I was all like, I feel like Sony's holding something back. And lo and behold, Shuhei Yoshida comes out the next day and says, "Yeah, we definitely did hold a lot of stuff back." But something we haven't talked about is how about freaking Monster Hunter being back on the Sony.
Oh yeah, that's really cool to see. I was like, wait, is this sort of that game? Like, that's Monster Hunter? It's the big. This is like I haven't seen a console Monster Hunter game in a while. Like the ones that I've seen have all been like for the 3DS and stuff. And for Vita, like I haven't seen a big console one that's real pretty to look at. That one's looking real cool.
Sony is still in the game. Marvel vs. Capcom looked good to okay. I mean, if you were a Captain America fan, it probably looked bad to you. But I should stress, this game is probably not coming out to Christmas, so Capcom has some time.
Hopefully they can fix up them graphics.
I don't even know if it is.
Oh boy!
Is it a 2017 game? It's a 2017 game, right?
It's 2017.
Okay. Looks like it might get delayed.
Yeah, like I mean, the combat looks good, like a solid Marvel vs. Capcom game, but the character designs and the graphics look kind of bad. Like if you look at Dante, he looks worse on PS4 than he did on PS3 like almost 8 years ago when Devil May Cry 4 came out. That game looked and looks to this day is a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game, and Dante in this game just looks, and almost all the characters in this game look rough.
Right. And by the way, Sony, if you're listening, I know y'all probably listen every time somebody says your name. But listen, if you really want to kill the game I know you probably won't show anything big. I know the Japanese games, the JRPGs will be shown at Tokyo Game Show. So that'll be good for all you JRPG fans. But if you want to kill the game for PSX, oh my goodness, Josh, I know you haven't been to I know you haven't been to PlayStation Experience, but dog, I think the biggest surprise I got out of this conference is Sony never announces PSX this early. And during the pre-show when they were all like, it's December 9th and December 10th, I was all like, the funny thing was, I was just talking to my friend who I was at the theater with. I was all like, yo, we were actually just talking about that like 5 minutes before he said it. I was all like, they never announced PSX this early. And my friend was all like, yo, are they listening to you? I was all like, yo, great minds think alike. And they were all like, I am pleased to confirm. When he said I am pleased to confirm, I thought he was about to say PS5 is dropping next year. I was all like, yo, when's he about to confirm that was too big to not wait until E3? Like, what is he about to confirm? And he was all like, PSX, December 9th and December 10th. Which, by the way, hopefully, finance is committing, and Josh and I and everybody else in this podcast will rap about it after the show. Hopefully, December 9th and December 10th, 2017, we can go to Anaheim, California. Hopefully.
What a trip.
But no, I can tell you as somebody who went, man, it is worth it.
I mean, I definitely want to go to one of those.
Yeah. So hopefully work and schedules permitting, at least maybe 2 to 3 of us or more than that can go. And we can have fun. We can bring you the things, because I'm telling you, I mean, I went the year before last when it was in San Francisco, and boy, I tell you, they were available. I was able to take a picture. Shouts out to Vita Island, Gio Corsi, took a picture with him and Adam Boyce. This was actually the year before he left. Nice. And they are very much accessible. It's a once you pay the ticket, a relatively free event. You know, there are people running around as a different mascots. You can take pictures of them totally for free because basically you pay for that with your ticket when you bought your ticket. But this is it's a great thing, and I'm so happy. And I know this has nothing to do with the E3 thing, but that was a big announcement. GT Sport looked good, and I kind of know now. I was all like, "Whoa, GT is in the pre-show, and it's coming out in 2017." But then when I looked and said, "Okay, well, they had Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus," which, by the way, should tell you how big this conference was because we're just now mentioning the Shadow of Colossus.
Oh yeah, looking pretty, looking very pretty with that upgrade, that facelift.
Yes, and that like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Good show by Sony. I know that PSX is becoming more and more important because when Sony is readily admitting, we definitely had more for this conference, but we're saving it. By the way, guys, Red Dead Redemption, I'm calling it now because it doesn't come out until March. Red Dead Redemption is going to show up at PSX. Calling it now.
I would hope. I desperately want to see more of that game.
Yeah. Red Dead. That's the only prediction I got for PSX. Red Dead's going to show up. I know that's not much of a prediction because it comes out in March, but Red Dead Redemption will show up at PSX. And I a couple since they're on the remake train, I need Spyro back.
Bring him back.
And I need Sly Cooper. But
yes.
But it was a great show. And unless Josh has any more to add, we can move on. Now before we go.
Well, I did want to touch on Bethesda and Ubisoft's conference because I watched those too. Mainly because for Ubisoft, that Mario Rabbids game actually looks decent.
Yeah, that game
it's looking like an XCOM with a Mario and Rabbids skin on it, but it looks like it might be a decent tactical turn-based RPG type game. And the show overall, Ubisoft, I usually categorize as a crackhead spasming out in the street because their shows are just kind of insane and very cringy. But they only had one big cringe moment, which was when they had the dancers come out because they can't resist having the dancers come out for the new Just Dance games. But that was the only big cringe moment. They didn't even have Aisha Tyler this year. She's a pretty good host, but it was a decent show. The Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced. I never played the original game, so I didn't have any nostalgia tears like the devs did. But yeah, Far Cry 5 looks cool. Assassin's Creed looks cool. As for Bethesda, that was kind of boring. They keep re-releasing Skyrim and more Skyrim, and just they really like Skyrim. Todd Howard, can you make a new game, please? And then Wolfenstein, the new Colossus looks. I want to play that game so bad because when New Order was really cool, and the new Colossus looks even cooler. So I'm ready to kill some Nazis.
Yes. And can I just say about Ubisoft's conference? I watched it too. We share the same points, but let me just say there was nothing wrong. What saved that segment that Josh was talking about is, did you see BB Rexha? Did you see BB Rexha? I was all like, at first, I will not lie, I am a man. I was sitting there like, yo, who is this? Who is this? How old is she? Who is this? And she was all like, I'm BB Rexha. And I was all like, well, that's BB Rexha? Okay. So let me just say that they can have BB Rexha show up at every show from now on in those jeans every time, every year. Just put her front and center. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have my man moment during this day because he brought up Ubisoft. So that was a great. That conference was about a 7, and then she showed up and it went to a 7.5. It would have been a full 8, but they showed the crew and the crew looked good, but it was a 7. Rex plays on 7.5. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. The points.
And I didn't see Bethesda, so I can't comment on Bethesda.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a dull show. They didn't really, the only new things they had to show were the new Wolfenstein game and the Evil Within 2, and the rest of it was just like, hey, we're getting updates for Fallout 4 in VR. You can do I think is it Skyrim in VR too, and Doom VR. That got a trailer for it. And it's like that was basically it. It's like, hey, we're doing more mods. You can do more mods and stuff, and that's not much.
Bethesda should go the Take-Two approach. Only announce things when you have them.
Mm-hmm.
Stop having an E3 conference. You know, your E3 conference last year was big because you never did one. But now you're just becoming a variety act.
Yeah.
So maybe cancel E3. Because even Square didn't have an E3 this year because they didn't have nothing to announce. Oh, speaking of Square, Kingdom Hearts 3 got another trailer.
And we're nowhere near closer to having the game ever come out.
2018.
2018. That's what they're saying this time. That's what they're saying this time. Like that.
It'll be a launch exclusive to the PS5, which will probably be the PSX. See how it is.
The PSX, bringing it full circle.
And so shout out to that. Did you watch Nintendo? I
did. I did. It was short, sweet, to the point. They showed some cool stuff. A new Yoshi game. They showed some Zelda DLC. They're doing a new Metroid Prime 4 got announced, so that's big news. They're making, and they have a Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, so we're getting Samus back in actual Metroid games. So that's cool. And then they showed a trailer and they showed some gameplay for Super Mario Odyssey, which that game, like, I kind of want to get a Switch. I want to get a Switch now. Like, down the line, I'm definitely buying one, but like now, the offerings have been getting steadily better as the consoles had a few months to breathe and grow. And Super Mario Odyssey looks insane in the best way possible. Like, you throw the hat on the thing, and you become the thing. What else do you want in a video game? I could throw my hat on a man in New Donk City and become that man. 10 out of 10. That's gonna be. It's gonna be a good game. I also love how, going back to with Xbox, like it's like we got every single flop, all the gigahertz, a liquid cooling system. We're gonna have all the best 4K games. Nintendo comes out, hey, Mario's got a cool spicy hat. You can throw it on stuff. You can throw a hat on a dinosaur. Like that. Nintendo just, they won. They won with that. But other than that, it was like 30 minutes, a 30-minute show. No Smash news. If anything is going to happen with Smash, so I kind of want to hear something about that. But it was a fun little romp.
Can I just say, shouts out to Nintendo shouts out to Nintendo for into their place. You know, the Switch did its job. It saved Nintendo. Sort of like PS4 did with Sony. I mean, obviously they're both big companies, but they're both having impact on the new system. And shouts out to Nintendo too for settling into their place. Like, Nintendo realizes that, much like Microsoft, they never catch Sony, but they're happy in being in second place and beating Microsoft. So it's kind of funny how, like, Nintendo and PlayStation are kind of working together and just like like even Sony said, like, you know, we don't consider that we're not worried about the Xbox Scorpio and we're not worried about the Switch, but PS4 goes great with the Switch. Kind of like that whole like, you know, and I was kind of surprised that they said that because, you know, Sony doesn't really like acknowledging that the competition exists. And so it was kind of a new step for them to like give Nintendo their praise. So I kind of like the acknowledging Sony gave them. And it kind of like, I think, established for fans that, you know, there's no hate there between Sony and Nintendo. Not really. Because they're both Japanese companies, but, you know, like there's no like ardent hate against each other, and that, you know, they think that their systems complement each other, which is great. And I think that but moving on from E3, because E3 was great, but what was better last week? Lord Jesus, that Black Panther trailer with "Run the Jewels" as the theme song. My goodness, my goodness. Like, I was watching the finals. We were in the midst of the sports podcast that we do, because that comes on Friday at 9. Cheap ad there. You should totally watch that if you're into sports or you just like podcasts. Come check that one out. But like that trailer. Let me gather my thoughts. Josh, you.
Yeah. Okay. So I literally screamed when I saw this on my Facebook timeline, because the poster came out and they had my man on a throne. They had him on the throne. Like the poster could have been, you know, composed a little better. It looks a little awkward, but they had the man on a throne. Okay. It was looking nice. And the trailer hit. All right. First of all, let me do a play-by-play. We got Andy Serkis, okay, sitting there with Martin Short, talking about, you know anything about Wakanda? Would you heard anything about Wakanda? So trying to play it off. No, it's the wrong country. Like, but no, it's the El Dorado of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the place everybody wants to get to, right? They got hyper advanced technology. It's a crazy wealthy nation, but nobody knows it. And then we just get straight to the good stuff. We get that Run the Jewels. We get some action scenes. We get like all the big name black actors who are in this movie. I am so happy. It looks going to be. We get that car flip at the end, and that scene where the guys with the guns try to shoot him, but he doesn't get shot. They shoot him, but the bullets bounce right off, and he just knocks him over. And it's great. It's great. I am so excited for this movie. Like, it's coming out during Black History Month. It's going to be the most lit Black History Month in the history of mankind. Like, we're going to show out. It's going to be great. I am just ready for this movie. I'm ready for this movie. Like, Spider-Man's my son. I'm excited to see that. Thor looks weird and crazy. I'm excited to see that. But Black Panther's going to be life. That movie is going to be life. Like, it's... Man, I need to see this movie. It needs to come out.
Listen here. I told Josh while we were off air. Right? I told him I'm gonna have to after starting in September. I have to grow my hair out. I'm gonna have to get the fro ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to get. I told my friends. Didn't tell Josh this, but I don't believe in cosplay for this movie. Cosplay, it doesn't matter if you're a Blerd or not. Cosplay, the Black Panther T-shirts, you better have something to do.
Get a dashiki. Go out.
No casuals. I don't care how black you are. No casuals allowed. And listen here, that John needs to be sold out, like the Straight Outta Compton movie was.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna watch in the theaters. You're not pirating this. You're not pirating this movie. You're not bootlegging it. If you're gonna buy it when it comes out in a home release at full price. Okay, this movie deserves respect.
Buy the 4K Blu-ray version.
I don't care if you're getting a 4K TV. Get the 4K DVD combo pack.
Listen here. Listen. Like, when I saw that trailer, my goodness, I love Black Panther. He's in my top 3 of superheroes. My goodness, when I saw that Panther, By the way, shouts out to Chadwick
Boseman.
Playing Jackie Robinson, having your 3 movies of your career being Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Shouts out to you. You're playing black icons and doing it very well. I know you're probably too big to be watching this podcast, but Blerd Talk thanks you.
Yes, we do. We do. Keep putting in the work.
Shouts out to Daniel Kaluuya, who went from the sucking place to the most woke black movie.
Oh yes.
Probably in the history. Probably in the history. My goodness, I saw that bull with a beard, and I was all like, "Is that who I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
That's not Chris, is it?"
Mm-hmm. He got out. He got out.
Chris escaped from the second place to be the littest black warrior ever.
Oh yeah.
And shouts out to Disney and Marvel because you know what you did. You messed with everybody's head and put Angela Bassett in a gray wig and called this on this podcast that they would do something to make us think Storm was in this movie.
Making it look like she was Aurora, but no.
To make it go from like a $1 billion movie to like a $5 billion movie.
Yeah.
And Josh and I were talking about this on Sunday because I was looking at that like, did I just call that? Did I just have to do a Kyler was right segment on Blerd Talk? I was about to be like, yo, I know they didn't. And this is exactly how I was looking. I was looking at that, and you know it was real quick. I was looking at that like, I know they didn't. I know they didn't put her in a gray wig. And then they had to like do like something quick, like tweet it out and say, she is not playing Storm, she's playing Ramona. And Josh and I both had the same reaction, and we said they knew exactly what they were doing.
They did. They did. They made us think. They made us think.
And we were talking about this earlier before this trailer came out, and I think it was me that said, I was all like, listen here, let me tell y'all something. They can't use Storm, but they're gonna use the original name. I would not be surprised if somewhere in this movie they tease it. Probably have like she was a priestess, so probably have like him run into a priestess that just happened to be named. This is Priestess Monroe, and if this happens in the movie, I must get my credit. But
give them royalties.
They're going to do something. I'm telling you, they're going to do something.
They got to make a reference to that.
Yeah, but like there is that trailer. That trailer, my goodness, like
that. I'm ready.
I am so ready. I got the black. I gotta get my black jumpsuit. I might get some black Adidas. I'm for going full Run DMC for this.
Oh yeah, gotta get ready.
This movie has to be seen twice. February 18th, 2018, right? Mm-hmm. February 18th.
Yeah, 18th, February 18th, 2018. The day everything changes.
1818.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You know, my people, my brothers and sisters. I know, to those of you that drive, take the subway. Don't drive. Don't drive in your costumes. Don't drive in your all black outfits. Don't do it. Take the subway and the bus. I'm not trying to make references, but y'all know why y'all shouldn't be driving in Black Panther or anything, especially depending on where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do it.
Gotta be careful.
Take the bus. If you live in the city, take the bus or subway. Drive carefully. So what that means is after the movie is over, switch out of whatever you have on and wear the regular clothes after the movie. You know, after you're done sitting through the 18 cutscenes that are in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
After that, definitely switch out and change clothes. But yo, that trailer is everything. I wish KK was here, but that trailer was everything. I don't think we really have anything more to say about that. Lupita Nyong'o.
She bad.
Denai Guerrera.
Mm-hmm.
Denai, because I can't remember her last name. I know it's something with a G.
Yeah, Guerrera. I think it's Guerrera. Yeah.
As the
Melage.
My goodness, and let me get this right. Letitia Wright as his sister Shuri.
Shuri, with those panther gauntlets,
looking amazing. And I'm trying to figure out what the timeline is in this movie. Is this before? Is this pre-Winter Soldier or after Winter?
I'm thinking this is after, because there's a theory going around that we'll see T'Chaka as because the Black Panther is passed down from king to king. So we might, because in the beginning of the trailer we see the suit that he wore in Civil War. And that might be a flashback, because then at the end of the trailer, towards the rest of the trailer, he's wearing a different outfit, different design. So I'm like, there's a theory going around that at the beginning at some point we're going to see a flashback with T'Chaka as the Black Panther defending Wakanda, and then for the rest of the movie, T'Challa's got this new outfit on, and that seems like it could be valid.
See, and my theory is, I'm wondering, because there is a scene where Martin Short is in Wakanda. I'm wondering if he's there because he heard about what's his name being there.
Oh, Claw.
No. Winter Soldier. Not Winter Soldier.
Oh, Winter Soldier. Bucky. Yeah.
Because I know the obvious reason he's probably there is because Claw is coming, but I want to know if the other tease is he finds something he shouldn't have, and he finds Winter Soldier, because this is supposed to be, basically, because of the timeline, this is supposed to be the movie that sets up Infinity War. So I think, there's no other movie outside of Black Panther is going to set this up. So, and that's my theory. Honestly, this is where these are the two movies where, because I doubt an Infinity Stone will show up in Thor Ragnarok, because they've already done an Infinity Stone in Ragnarok, and the next to last one was Doctor Strange. So I assume that the last two will show up in Black Panther.
Probably,
unless they're just gonna do another one in Thor Ragnarok, which to me wouldn't make sense. But just me. But I there are no words. There are a few times when I'm speechless. Josh knows this.
Oh yeah, he does.
I literally was watching the game. It went to commercial. The game came back on, and I was sitting there in a coma. We were doing a podcast for real. So I was like in a verbal coma, because I'm processing what I just saw, processing the game, and doing a podcast at the same time. It was just like verbal, like grilled cheese at that point. Like,
so ready for that movie.
Bow down, Disney. Like, you can. The only thing that would have been blacker than that is if you would have put NWA in that trailer. And I know you wouldn't do that, because that's probably an instant turnoff to most people outside of the Black community. But like, that would have been amazing. But shouts out to you for that. Well, we got one more topic, but before we get into that, I know Josh probably totally unprepared for this, but I know he can think on his feet. Any comics? Are we reopening Josh's Comics Corner?
Well, just for you guys, I actually went to the comic store earlier today to get some stuff, and I definitely recommend getting Dark Days: The Forge, which is a prelude to Batman DC Metal, which is DC's new summer event, which is happening. And Scott Snyder is doing most of the writing on it. Greg Capullo is doing the art for the main series, and those two had a legendary run on Batman in New 52. Those two are like the tag team gold for DC, and apparently Scott Snyder has been building up to this event since he started writing Batman for New 52. So he is just like having fun with all the Easter eggs, and like this prelude issue ties a lot. It starts to leave like threads of tying a lot of things in from past Batman stories from his run into a single like thing that's happening. So it's looking pretty interesting. I also picked up Secret Wars 3 and 4, which That series has been going pretty well so far. I'd say it's really weird seeing Captain America as this weird Nazi dictator, and he's still somewhat. It's weird because he still acts kind of like the righteous stand-up Steve Rogers type that we know and love, but he's Hydra now and he's a dictator basically. So that series, I'm enjoying that so far. They're making strides to further the conflict. There was a weird issue in there with Ultron / Hank Pym, because apparently Ultron has fused with Hank Pym, so now they're sharing a body. And there's a weird scene where he captures the Avengers and is like, we have to we're gonna have dinner together like the old times, and then it just gets really weird from there and surprisingly touching moment in there. But yeah, that was good.
Not to cut you off because I know you're in the midst of something, but just quick question since you got to see the Wars. I actually was hoping that you had read that, at least the first 2 or 3. Ultimate Captain America. Did you get to that issue?
No, I didn't. No.
Never mind then.
Okay. All right.
Never mind then. Oops.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. But yeah, and then I picked up Spider-Man Deadpool, latest issue. That was good. It was a really good run with. I know Ed McGuinness did the art. I forgot who wrote it, but it was a really good run. And Miles Morales Spider-Man newest issue, I got that. It was a bit of a filler issue, but there's some cool stuff happening. But yeah, that's my comics corner. Definitely, again, looking out for DC Metal. Looking out for that. Also looking out for Marvel's Generations event, which they're going to be bringing back all of the classic versions of the characters with the new ones. Oh, and Spider-Man 2, which is the sequel to Miles Morales' Peter Parker team-up story that they did a couple years back. And the way they ended that issue, it was when the Ultimate Universe was still around and not dead. So Peter and Miles got switched around different universes, and they come together to fight Mysterio and everything. And at the end, there's a cliffhanger, because we don't know who Miles Morales is in the 616 main Marvel universe. So apparently Peter Parker finds out and is like, oh no, what is that? It's like a cliffhanger reaction. So this one is who is the other Miles is the tagline. So we're going to find that out. So that's going to be cool. As far as other indie stuff, non-Marvel DC stuff, I haven't been keeping up as much as I want to. I heard Saga's back, which I'm always happy about. That's a great book. Or Walking Dead, keeping up with that, and I think Snotgirl might be coming back soon. That's a really good book. But yeah, that is my comics corner for this week.
Ooh, good job, man. Good job. Sorry for the minor spoiler. I forgot what issue that's in. I feel like it's 3 or 2 that issue shows up. That. Yeah, I think it is 2.
Oh wait. Oh, that he's not actually. It's a different Captain America.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Yeah. I got to that. Yeah, because they're trying to get the Cosmic Cube to bring the real Steve Rogers back. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's Ultimate Cap, and I know that this hasn't been. It's been teased because they brought Thor Odinson back for the stuff. But I'm wondering if Ultimate Thor is back too. I'm wondering if that's how they're going to bring the originals back. Just switch them with their Ultimate version, and that's how they'll get the Ultimate universe back ultimately. Because nothing is ever really dead in comics. So
that's true. That's you can always retcon it back.
So yeah. But shouts out to that. We'll look for a new segment also because I'm working on the. I'm also a sneakerhead. No surprise there, but we're opening. We're gonna open up, I guess, Alan's shoe shop very soon when I get some other sneakers. But shouts out to so far this year because we only really have one more segment after this. The Air Jordan 4. I got some all white Air Jordan 4s. Summer sneakers. They really do well with the women in your life, especially the mothers, the sisters, the people that want y'all to have all white sneakers. Even though we hate all white sneakers, but
Yeah.
they always got that one all white party to go to. So like those are good. Those are good. The Air Jordan 4 Monies. That's what they're called. Really good shoe. The Air Jordan Motorsport white and blues, white, blue, and black. Very good. I know the black version comes out. Uh, the all black version of the shoe comes out this weekend. I wouldn't. I haven't seen the all black. Well, I have seen it in the email. I think that's a cop too. But just some general advice for you guys with some sneaker stuff. And on to something else before we really move on. Tomorrow, guys. What is tomorrow? I am. I can't speak for Josh. I am big Game of Thrones. Tomorrow is June 16th, which means you guys, we only have a month to go. One more month to go. Game of Thrones comes back. Fire and Ice. We're getting it back. And guys, you should cherish it because HBO president did come out and say that the next Game of Thrones may not come out until 2019. So basically, the Game of Thrones and Kingdom Hearts 5 might come out at the same time, 2019. But I'm hoping that's not true and that D&D can get it done by 2018. But I'm not gonna rush them if they need, because these next two seasons are gonna be short. 7 this season, 8 next season. So and I'm sorry guys, I have not been able to catch up on the T as far as the Netflix stuff. We can't talk about House of Cards because I haven't seen it yet. Can't talk about. Still haven't seen that. Still haven't seen the new season of Bosch yet. There's a couple of things I'm just behind on because of work and everything else, but life, y'all. But Josh, something broke that's so extraordinary.
Yeah.
That's so extraordinary. We have to talk about it. And that's the thing that I thought would never happen. That I would usually save for a sports podcast, but this is pop culture because of who these two people are. Conor McGregor, for those of you who are living under a rock, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. are fighting. Actually, and when I say fighting, I know somebody heard that and probably thinks, yes, we're going to finally get Floyd Mayweather in a cage. And I can finally see somebody kick that cocky head off him. No. This is a boxing match. Disclaimer out there for that. So if you heard boxing match that causes you to not want to spend money on it, then so be it. Then you're thinking like Josh and I. But anyway, yes, that's the topic. I know this thing is usually free of sports besides sports games, but sometimes some things just happen, and what can you do, right? So yeah, I guess I'll start as the sports guy. I have to say, when I first saw that news, because I saw it through Facebook, as most of us millennials, darn millennials, get our news from social media. So I looked at the thing because I have ESPN connected to my Facebook, and so I look and I'm all like, no, and we're in Bible study at this point. No, in my mind, this is not allowed. I'm all like, no way, this cannot be happening. And I showed it to one of my friends who Josh and I both know, Kenan, and Kenan had the same reaction. Nah, his deep voice. If I can mimic it a little bit. No. I know I just made him sound a little bit African. No. Oh
No.
I was in there like, my God, it's actually happening. And my initial reaction was this. Before I say this, let me just put a disclaimer out here. To my African American brothers and sisters, this fight is not until August 26th. And let me tell you, everybody's Irish, whether they be black or white. Everybody's got some kind of connection to the Irish. So those of you trash talkers, I would just encourage you to watch what you say, especially if you are in bars and Guinness is being served, and some people are a little bit too we'll call it courageous because of what they drank. I would advise you not to say Floyd Mayweather around any Irish person, or likewise if you're Irish and you say Conor McGregor around a black person who may be drunk. I just wouldn't do it. My trolls, the trolling game will be high no matter what happens. So I can imagine somebody changing Black History Month to if the inevitable happens and Conor McGregor actually does beat up Floyd Mayweather. I can just see that being the emoji that's Black History Month when Floyd Mayweather lost his courage and everything. But as far as the fight itself, let's be real. This is a boxing match. Conor McGregor is completely out of his element. This is not his realm. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would put money on him not even being able to land a punch against Floyd. Now, I'm not really a fan of boxing myself, but I dabble a little bit, and I just can't. I can't see the inevitable happening. Maybe I'm not high or drunk enough to see the inevitable happening, but no, I just don't see it. This is going to be a massacre, to me at least. Like, this is going to be a massacre on the level of might be the greatest massacre in sports history because of how unevenly matched this is. And even though Conor McGregor is a younger person, he's 29, Floyd is 41. He's just so deeply out of his element that I just don't see him being able to do well. And the way he runs his mouth, because he's definitely somebody who talks a lot harder than Floyd. And Floyd Mayweather has a mouth on him, but Conor McGregor just makes Floyd Mayweather look like a Hillary Clinton. And Conor McGregor, if I can use some politics, Conor McGregor is basically Donald Trump when it comes to saying essentially what he wants. Like, he will literally assault your mother, your sister, and everything else, and then dare you to come and touch him. I've seen it. Like, he does this. So, like, he is like the ultimate troll. And so I can definitely see him doing that to Floyd and then just being destroyed even more come August 26th. But I'm not going to take too much of the meat because I know Josh is going to bring his perspective in here. So,
yeah, I actually because I follow a guy on Instagram who's like a big into like the fighting and everything, those boxing matches and everything like that, and I kept hearing that getting thrown around, and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Like, they're like separate, different fightings of like Mayweather's boxing, McGregor's UFC. It's like, well, how would that even work out? Then it's actually happening. So that's gonna be interesting at least to see. But I definitely agree that the advantage definitely goes to Mayweather because they're boxing, not in the cage where McGregor could probably take him out. But if they're in a boxing ring, Mayweather's got the advantage, and I feel like he'd probably win that. And I mean, yeah, man, I don't really follow these fights as much, so I don't have that much to say. But I mean, it seems pretty one-sided to me.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, this is not. We are both not fighting aficionados when it comes to the sports on that. Even as a sports guy, I don't really dabble in fighting like that. So, yeah, this is very one-sided. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add outside of that. Yeah, so we're basically done. Just to do some house cleaning. Hopefully, we will have a podcast next week. It's the summer now, so definitely expect a lot more. Well, we're in that dry season for sports end games, but Crash Bandicoot is coming out soon. So
yeah. Oh, and a little bit of news that I shared with you, I think yesterday, but I wanted just to bring it up really quick. But
my bad. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to really quick bring it up. But Disney is launching a gamer programming block on Disney XD. I think it's called DIXP. Or no, it's DXP, and it's going to be from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. on Disney XD beginning July 15th. So they got a bunch of different shows lined up from a bunch of different like internet personalities and creators. They got Vice doing a show. IGN has their own show. Polaris Primetime is one. Parker Plays with a YouTuber, Parker Coppins. I don't know who that is, but it's basically Let's Play on TV. So that's going to be a thing, I guess. But yeah, and ESPN is going to do some esport events on that block. So that's going to be a whole thing. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to watch it. I don't watch a lot of live TV. But it seems like they're really, really pandering to that gamer audience to try and get every last possible bit of money and ratings out of their pockets. But I mean, hey, it's Disney, so it's going to probably succeed for a little bit at least. I mean...
just to the point, we talked about this off air on Sunday with our friend John, another podcast people I know. Being friends outside of podcasts, ooh, what a weird concept, right? But and we were all talking about it, and we all agreed that the way set up, there's an oversaturation in the market, and Disney is definitely going to succeed with this because a place where there's not oversaturation is in that kid market because that's what drives. We've all been kids once. We know what drives the market. Us 8 to 16-year-olds who can get our parents to do everything that we want them to do. Especially if you're the oldest. Shouts out to us older kids.
Oh yeah.
This is definitely Disney will definitely do well in this market because this is an untapped market outside of YouTube. But Disney is definitely going to get this money and provide the platform for them. But there is an overall oversaturation of the market, as my brother John Spencer will point out, because you have these regular YouTubers, and now you're going to have these Disney XD sponsored YouTubers who will basically probably have their content. And I don't know, and I guess one of the reasons why they're doing the 9 to 3 a.m. block is because they can make it. Maybe have the Adult Swim where these streamers can do what they want. Now, I guess it would be within reason. So when these shows come out, I wouldn't expect an Outlast live stream or Friday the 13th or any kind of thing that you think would be good. I would expect that if HBO was doing it, but since Disney is doing it, yeah, I would expect like Minecraft streams.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot of Minecraft.
I would expect Minecraft streams, maybe some Call of Duty with a lot of disclaimers in it. But some Call of Duty, I'm trying to think of kid-friendly games. Smash Bros.
Smash, definitely. Although, I think it's just the one guy who's doing the Let's Play stuff. And the rest of it seems more like variety shows and gaming news stuff. And then some esports in there with ESPN sponsoring stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely, because of the channel that it's on, it'll definitely be largely kids-centered. So I wouldn't come to Disney XD expecting like Halo news or any kind of like news for the age group. But this is definitely good for the culture. Good for the gaming culture, because it is making gaming a lot cool enough. And the point that I would make is, Josh, if you remember, as a kid, gaming was relatively not as cool as it is now. Like, we wouldn't be talking about what systems we had in school. Now these kids just willy-nilly tell people everything. They still play Pokemon cards, but I know with us, Game Boy, but for them, it's weird to see gaming mainstream, man. Especially as a kid, to know that you had to hide your gaming interest, basically. Or it was only like a few select friends that knew you had like the newest copy of whatever the game magazine was at the time and everything. And just to see it where it is, man, it's great. But it definitely, to John's point, is an oversaturation of the market. So.
Yeah, definitely. And Disney seems to be, they have an interesting approach to what they're trying to do. So I think they're offering something a little different. At least on the TV side of things, there isn't that much. There's really nothing in terms of gaming news on TV. So that could be an interesting fountain for that sort of content. And then the rest of what they're doing looks like an interesting mix of different types of media pertaining to games on their channel. So I think they could stand a chance to make it successful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it'll definitely be successful because it's Disney money, but but guys, like, this that is amazing. Like, shouts out to all the people that are literally making money doing what our parents told us we couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sit on a couch and make money off YouTube and gaming. Shouts out to you guys. Shouts out to all you guys that are now making it possible for people like Josh and I. Even though we don't get paid for this because we're not a big YouTube channel, but shouts out to y'all for especially helping myself because sports guy who now can broadcast your games and even now have a chance to Madden and 2K to play for my beloved 76ers and Eagles as a Madden player or 2K player. Thank you guys for really helping a brother out. But thank you, and to Josh for being able to, make his living too, because he common guy. Thank you all. You really support the lifestyle. So yeah, man. Shouts out to 13-year-olds and people even older than us who make money doing this and make us like not envious, but very happy that that this medium is taking off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it always was taking off, but so guys, like I said, unless Josh has anything last minute to add, this is that was Blerd Talk, probably one of the longer ones we had because we had so much to cover, but definitely going to get more consistent. Hopefully the Thursday at 8:30 be able to stick. Hopefully,
should be able to.
Not Caesar. Work and everything permitting. I know Mo will be back to talk about his favorite Planet of the Apes movie, the new one. But so we will definitely be back more consistently. I'm sorry for our huge break. Like I said, work and everything. So and time schedules, but now we shouldn't have that. With now a new college graduate in the thing. Now we're just waiting on John Spencer, and then we should have all BA. Oh, and Kaylin, an all BA podcast, BABS Phil podcast.
Oh yeah,
and more time to bring you guys the content. So look forward to that. Hope y'all like these more event centered things. Tell us if you like it at Kylan WI Twitter. Shout us out. Tell us what you like to do. Thank you all for watching. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Josh. Huge thank you to Josh. Huge congratulations to on his moment. And big ups to all the people, all the family members of the Blerd Talk podcast. Kaylin's brother Kyle graduated. You guys heard a lot about him in the last podcast. Shouts out to our brother Kyle for graduating from Morehouse man. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Josh, Regent University man. If nothing else, this is encourages you no matter what your skin color is. Go get your jeans. Go get your dream, and follow it. You can start off with a little podcast like this, and you never know what can happen, man. So, definitely get your dream. If you learn nothing else from this podcast today, other than the fact that we are huge nerds, get that. Get your dream. And thank you all. Thanks, Josh, again. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the last day of your work week. Lord willing, tomorrow. Peace out.